Well, good evening. Welcome to every single one of you. My name is Brittany Francis, and I am so incredibly excited for you to join us. Now, this disclaimer is just for you who are guests. This technology that you are invited to hear about tonight is actually in the stem cell world. And we're going to talk about the science behind the technology because I really feel like it's important that we cover what we have our hands on and how it works. But if you're on for hope tonight, we know that hope is on the other side of utilizing this technology. But your story is going to be completely different than the person who invited you. All of our bodies are created completely differently. And so you're going to have a testimony. You're going to have multiple testimonies. But just understand your story is going to be completely different than the person that invited you. Now, if you were on earlier, then you heard our song. This is LifeWave. This technology is actually over 20 years old. The birth of the technology occurred over 20 years ago. Okay, early development was for the Navy SEALs. They were utilizing LifeWave technology before it was even called LifeWave. They were utilizing LifeWave technology to keep the Navy SEALs awake for 24 to 36 hours straight, ready for combat. Okay, so this technology is very, very proven. The newest technology that we're going to talk about tonight, the X39, is the newest innovation that has come out just a few years ago. So just understand that this is something that is absolutely, it's proven. It's not in question. Okay. So now as 9/11 occurred, the military funding obviously had to shift. So David Schmidt, our founder, actually began to share the technology that the Navy SEALs were utilizing with Stanford University. They started utilizing it on their swimmers. Their swimmers got incredible results. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the birth of LifeWave. That is the story of LifeWave. So LifeWave has been around for a long time. When I was told about the technology, I actually had a thyroid issue. My numbers were all wonky. They were all over the place. And I did not think at any moment that my body was capable of doing what my body ended up doing, which was beginning to fix itself. So never knew that. I actually was also able to cancel my orthopedic appointment for my arm, for my surgery on my right arm. And ladies, for those of you that are on, I can now do jumping jacks, and I've had quite a few kids. So it was just something that I thought, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Next week, when you are on, just so you know, my son actually broke his clavicle right before Christmas, and he actually just had his surgery. You're going to see a before and an after picture. He had his surgery on Christmas Eve. He's actually already been cleared. So he's actually cleared to play sports. He had a major surgery on his clavicle. This was the second time he's done it. The first time he broke the opposite side. So next week you're going to hear about that. But this is actually what happened to the first clavicle. So this piece right here, see this broken piece, this bone, this is the story of my child. And right here, this was 1 week later. Well, you're about to see something even more incredible next week. So my husband, he stopped snoring, and he came home earlier. He used to run and own a dealership, and he came home earlier every single day and said everything's just clicking. So his mind started coming back, and we were able to cancel his infusions, which was incredible. Now, again, this technology is not on trial. So if you're a guest and you're here for hope, this technology works. I can't say that enough. We actually just won the Biotech Award in Stem Cell Innovation. So this is huge for us because this showed that out of thousands upon thousands of nominations, out of 15 countries, ladies and gentlemen, LifeWave won. So absolutely brilliant. So why the technology? Okay, let's talk about this very, very quickly. Why the X39? Okay, so stem cells are a very hot topic in this world, right? By the time we're 30, half of them actually go to sleep. They go dormant. By the time we're 60, 90% of them are asleep. All right. And stem cells make up every single organ of your body, and they are the master building block of the body. That's why there's such a hot topic. When you go and inject stem cells in a localized location, they have the ability, because they're master cells, to turn into whatever is necessary for that location to fix itself. Okay. So when your stem cells go to sleep, your body's ability to fix and repair whatever is broken, whatever is damaged, is no longer there. Okay. So this technology actually uses it's the body, and the body activates its own stem cells. So it's absolutely brilliant. So you're talking about anti-inflammatory, because stem cells, when they wake up, anti-inflammation all of a sudden occurs. Regeneration, your body occurs. Antimicrobial, all of the parasites, the fungi. We actually have a parasite queen that is actually doing a presentation for somebody right now about how this technology works against how about the body can like begin to start fighting viruses differently, and then your body begins to energize. So this is really an incredible technology. Now this is David Schmidt. He's the founder, he's the CEO, he's the one that was contracted by the US military over 20 years ago. And he was contracted, like I said, for these Navy SEALs to stay awake for 24 to 36 hours. They were actually in one-man submarines. And so they were like, David, they're hooked on amphetamines. We need something that will keep them awake, but it can't be anything that they intake into their body. So David went to work being an inventor. He actually began to study light frequency. And he found that there's actually chemical reactions that the body has in response to different colors of light frequency. So he really began to look, and he said, okay, he said, if there are different chemical reactions and our Navy SEALs need energy, let's start looking at the body and internal into the body. And he found, obviously, that we have biophotons, which is light inside of our body, which is nothing weird. Okay. There's nothing weird about that. The biophotons actually emit light. Okay. And there's chemical reactions that the body has whenever light occurs. When we're born, think we're actually a being of light. There's nothing weird about that. They've actually seen when we're conceived, light occurs. Okay. So he began to study the light because he said, okay, if there's light inside us, there must be light that's being emitted from us. Right. And so he began to look and start studying all the different frequencies of light that come off of the body. And he found, interestingly enough, that a Russian researcher found that the body's nervous system, the body actually elevates energy in response to red light. Well, he found that we actually emit a red light. So he said, what if we reflect that frequency back into the body? And he did it. And that's what the Navy SEALs began to utilize. This right here, ladies and gentlemen, is the first ever LifeWave technology over 20 years ago, which is called the energy enhancers. The Navy SEALs, like I said, began to utilize it. And as they started utilizing it, Stanford University, and then here you go. You've got Michael Phelps, David Beckham, the list, Mike Tyson, the list goes on and on and on. This technology is absolutely incredible. So these are the energy enhancers. He knew he was onto something brilliant, but he also knew that there were tons of different colors of light frequency that we emit. And so through what is called photobiomodulation, which is a reflection or a shining of tissue on the light, he found that there were all kinds of different colors of light that we emit. And if he could reflect all those different frequencies, the body would do different things. So he started studying this, and he found that the body would naturally elevate glutathione. The body would naturally elevate melatonin. And so this was something that was really, really exciting to him. So he was on a mission. And what he was on a mission for 10 years, $4.5 million, was why you're on tonight if you're a guest, the X39. This technology, completely patented, 70 global patents. You place this on the body, and the body naturally elevates the GHKCU copper peptide. This copper peptide, in response to the light frequency that is reflecting back into the body, is known as a holy grail of healing. Okay, the hair, the skin, the nails, lung protection. So those of you that have long COVID issues, okay, anti-fast growing cells, Take a look at this slide, okay? And then brain and nerves. You begin to see the functionality of the brain completely changing, anti-stress, anti-anger, okay, which is amazing for special needs children, antioxidant power. And then, ladies and gentlemen, take a look at the very bottom, activation of stem cells. So this GHKCU copper peptide that's elevated in the body is absolutely incredibly brilliant. Nothing is going inside the body. This is just a little patch that reflects the frequency of light back into the body, and the body activates itself. So you want to picture that there's actually a dimmer switch inside the body. And the longer that you utilize this technology, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, the brighter that dimmer switch gets. So you're going to hear testimonies tonight. Those of you that can share, please do, because I want to hear what's going on with all of you. All of us want to hear. But you have to picture that the longer that you utilize this, the more miracles start happening. And I call miracles because they're things that you never thought possible. 70% of people see something unbelievable between 5 minutes and 5 days. 97% of people see something unbelievable within 90 days. So it's absolutely brilliant. Okay, within the first few days, 4,000 genes reset. Within 6 weeks, the brain becomes balanced. So PTSD, anxiety, depression, memory loss. Okay. Within 3 months, the collagen is increased. So your ability to move. So yes, hair, skin, nails, yes, all of that. But the collagen is actually increased, which is huge. And then within 6 months, the cardiovascular age of the heart actually reverses. So this is not anti-aging. This is literally age reversal. So much so that this is the newest study that was released that you utilize this technology for 6 months or longer. Okay, so that's a key. Your average age reversal is 8.5 years. That's not in question, okay? When they looked at this, they said, what is happening? We want to really dig deep. And what they found was that the telomeres are actually lengthened at a healthy level. So this is really incredible. It's a proprietary form of phototherapy, okay? And there's no drugs, no stimulants, nothing is going inside the body. Okay, nothing. Completely non-dermal, non-transferable, does not get in the way of any medications. So it's so sophisticated, but very, very, very simple to explain. Very simple to explain. So I am just so excited for all of you that have jumped on tonight because really we want to hear from all of you. We want to hear what you guys are seeing, what you guys are feeling. And I'm just thrilled for you all to share. So, oh, Nolan, I'm so excited. Go ahead and share with us because you started sharing last week and I was like, okay, this is about to get really good.
Good evening, everybody. Hey, I'm Nolan from Texas, North Texas, the flat part with plains and mesquite trees, not the prettier part. I'm a nurse by background, and I've only been on the patch 2 months and about 2 weeks now. I started Halloween Day, actually October 31st, put my first patch on. A number of years ago, I crushed two cervical discs, C4 through 6, in my neck, and I've had trouble ever since. I did have a neurosurgeon to operate on them to do the physical correction that had to be so that I wasn't paralyzed. Thankful for that. But ever since then, I've been just burning nerve pain from my shoulders all the way down to my toes, and not much hope. They said I demyelinated the protective sheath around my nervous system was just gone, destroyed. He said it'll grow back about an inch per year. And I thought, I'll have to live 300 years to get over this. So it wasn't very hopeful, just in excruciating pain, like a flamethrower in your body that can't find an escape. So about 3 months ago, a brother-in-law introduced me to the X39 patch, told me about his experience of making some pain go away in a hip problem that he had. I trusted him. He sent me to the site so I could look the background and all the things Brittany just shared, the development of it. And with my nursing background, the science all just made sense to me. I said, I see that. I get that. Now let's see if it's going to work for me. So trusting my brother-in-law, I started taking the patches. Well, I was thinking mostly of this, full body pain there. And about a week in, just by phone conversations, he found out I had torn a meniscus in my knee. That right knee was just, killing me in and of itself. So he put me on a phone call with Brittany. She overnighted some ice wave pain patches to me, got back on the phone, talked me through how to put these, how to apply these. And in 10 seconds, the pain was gone in my knee. And I was like, wow, something really is true and actual here. So I stayed on the patches. About 3 weeks later, I got out of bed one morning. I've also had arthritic pain in both hips for years and years because I do a lot of sports officiating, been very hard on my body. I started walking out of my bedroom and I stopped, said, something's different, something's wrong. And it hit me. My hips don't hurt anymore. Those pains are gone and have not come back. Another win. About a week after that, I was scheduled and went to see my normal doctor, just an annual checkup, do some labs, checked all your numbers and stuff. He had a new nurse in his office that day that came in. I said, hey, are we going to do vitals? She said, no, Mr. Gann, we don't need to today. It's just checking you in. I said, please take my vitals. She said, okay, because the patient's always right, right? So the first thing, she took my blood pressure. I've had high blood pressure for years, ran about 140, 150 range, which is not good if you know those numbers. She takes my blood pressure and says, wow, that's a pretty good number. 122 over 64. I said, yes. I said, please write that on a piece of paper for me. And she looked at me again like I said, that number is very important to me. And I've got that number right here on my desk in front of me so that every day I'm reminded what this patch is doing for me. That full nerve body pain I described to you, I've been on 2 months now. It's not complete by any means, but that pain that used to start here at the base of my neck is working its way down my body. It's lessening the inflammation that I have systemically, lessening the pain. So the pain level is now down about, say, mid rib cage level on my torso. And I know that this is going to continue working. That pain is going to go down. The inflammation is going to keep going down throughout my body. So I'm committed to stay on these patches for life because of the benefits I'm getting. And you may not be in this situation of life. I don't advise it for everyone, but I was so impressed and so believing in this that I walked away from my job 2 months ago to be involved in X39 full time. I can't wait to hear your positive results as well. Thanks, Brittany.
I love it. I love it. And it's just getting better and better and better every single solitary time. Just can't wait. It's going to get, I mean, Nolan, you're at 3 months. I mean, come on. This is just the beginning. It's just the beginning. It's just so exciting. All right, we've got someone. Hello, 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 Bilal. Is that how we say?
Allow?
Bilal.
Yes,
Hello, Bilal. How are you?
I am amazing. Thank you. Thank you for asking, Brett. Yes, so I'm about 8 months on the technology now, and I was in a car accident about 3 years ago, and they wanted to do, I mean, I missed 6 months of work. They wanted to do surgery on my neck and surgery on my back. I put it off, was seeing a chiropractor, physical therapist, and I went in there in April of last year after meeting with Dr. Tory Brooks, patched me, and it was a game changer. That was it. Never really looked at it from a business standpoint, but I was just receiving benefits. And about I would want to say maybe 4 years ago, I was wearing bifocals. I would order all of the material that for a pergola, that you would go to Costco to buy the material. I was ordering all the material in pieces, for work, and ordered everything incorrectly because I couldn't see. And as of today, we went to the doctors the end of December of last year, and now my vision is 2015. I haven't wore glasses in about 3 months now, so my eyes just started getting better. My nails go crazy. I mean, like, I'm cutting them. If I don't cut them twice a week, then they're scratching anything I touch. That's how long they get. Like right now, I didn't cut them today, but you can see, I mean, my nails, and they're super strong where they used to just flake off. And, my hair is turning back black. My wife's hair is turning back black. I mean, just super, super amazing. I will definitely be sharing this for the rest of the time. Every new technology that David Smith, introduces, I will be introducing. I had the pleasure of meeting with them in Anaheim at the convention, and super amazing, super amazing. Life wave for life, pain reduction, sleep. I mean, rest. The Celergize AM,
Yes.
game changer, game changer. Celergize PM. The first time I consumed it, I just felt like I was just laying back already, just so relaxed, I mean, super amazing, just game changer. And that's what it's all about, changing the game for the rest of the world. Let's go, Life Wave.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. I'm just so excited that you shared. Thank you for sharing because truly I'm just so excited because so that was 8 months. That
Eight
shows
months,
8 months, right? And so
8 months.
that you heard 3 months, you heard 8 months, so this is why I go over the science because it's really, really important for you to understand why there are so many changes. Denise, how are you?
Doing great. Thank you. This is my husband, Eddie.
Hi,
Hello.
I'm going to let him talk first.
Uh-oh. I'm on the spot. Well, I'll start out with, I used to be really handsome. Now I'm twice as handsome on the X39.
Yay.
So my experience is that about 10 months ago, we started this. And almost instantly, obviously, just like so many people, I instead of going to the bathroom 8 times a night, it went down to like two, which was really nice. And I used to have to rotate, gosh, I don't know, about every hour because of discomfort in the shoulder, laying on the shoulder, and that actually probably about 90% went away. So I'm getting a lot better sleep that way as well. And I was on two mood altering drugs um, that so many people are on in this crazy world of ours. And with the okay of my doctors, after a couple of months on the X39, I said, I don't think I need both of them anymore. And so she said, go ahead and get off of one of them. So I did that. And then a couple of months later, I got off of the other one. So, um,
I got my husband back. It was amazing. It's nothing like it. Honestly, it's been 5 years almost that he's been in this condition, with his physical self, with his mental self. And now it's been 10 months, like he said, and we're back. He's back. I'm so excited for him.
one
Go
other
ahead.
one other thing is that it wasn't long ago, probably a few months back, but I sat on the couch after trying to do some work with my hands. I've had surgeries on my hands for carpal tunnel. And I sat down and my wife goes, what's the matter? And I said, I'm depressed. I said, I couldn't even roll up some of my camping equipment because my hands hurt so bad. And she goes, well, let's try an ice wave. I said, oh, okay. So she put one there and one here, and I rolled that thing up about 10 minutes later. It was really wonderful that my level 9 pain went to like a 1 instantly. So I just wanted to offer that also. The ice wave is a wonderful way to introduce it to people as well.
Also, for me, I think it took me about 4 weeks, and I'm diabetic, which is now coming down, which is amazing. So I went from my daily blood sugars in the 250s down to 113, which
wow.
I cried because I never thought it was a breakthrough. I never thought that was going to happen in my lifetime, ever. I've been on medications. I've done this, that, and another thing. And honestly, this is the only thing that helped me break through. My doctor reduced my medication. So many amazing things happened from that. I had a frozen shoulder. I couldn't lift my shoulder past here. And now look, I mean, I can do jumping jacks. Woohoo! Super excited about that. And then just better sleep and better, mental clarity. I mean, his mental clarity, honestly, phenomenal. He's a few years older than me, but which I love, but you can start to see the difference in the mental clarity within 6 weeks. It was really amazing. So we're really psyched about this product and being able to share it with all of our friends. I think I went out and signed up like 25 people, within the first few months. And I'm like, okay, I need to get my momentum back and let's get going. Let's do this. We're all in, all in.
Impacting the world, impacting the world. I love it. So I do want to cover. So I love the fact that you guys talked about all of this because first of all, the ice wave. It's a two-patch system. So just so y'all know, remember David Schmidt, let's go back. David Schmidt, he found all kinds of different frequencies of light, right? And so he, along the way to the X39, they're talking about other technologies that they're utilizing and you can just it's like you can get it all in a bundle, but just so you know, the ice wave actually blocks pain. It's a two-patch system that blocks pain and reduces the pain because it actually blocks the pain receptors. So it's really neat. That's what Nolan was talking about as well. So I'm so glad that you guys spoke about that. And then the Celergize they spoke about earlier. The Celergize is actually just a powder that is placed in the water. So if you're wondering what that is, it actually was part of winning the biotech award in stem cell innovation. Denise, you guys are awesome. Thank you for sharing. I am just so grateful. Miss April, how are you?
All right, I am great. My husband and I have been on the patches for about 18 months. So it's kind of funny how that lined up there. It's just, I think you just took us in the order that we raised our hand, but that's pretty awesome. Um, so right away, I noticed basically what, the other people said, deeper sleep, less anxiety. For me, I was less introverted, just more outgoing, happier. Um, that just makes you feel great, right? At about 4 months, the discomfort in my left foot went away. At 9 months, I had this spot, and I have before and after pictures. Um, I had this spot that I had had for over a decade. I was told by two different dermatologists the only way it would go away was with surgery. And so I said, well, I'll just keep my spot instead of having a scar. And thankfully I did because it's gone. Now, I will say it got at about 9 months, it got worse and it kind of puffed up. And I think that was healing at the cellular level and it was pushing all of that dead skin out and it's completely gone.
That's amazing.
It is so amazing. And then with my doctor's approval, I've been able to get off all of my thyroid medicine that I was on for 23 years. And we weaned it down. Follow your doctor's advice, but we weaned that down. I'm completely off of it. And I have also been able to easily go from 180 pounds down to 152. So super exciting. Just we just keep experiencing more and more. So we're both just super happy.
Oh, I'm so grateful you shared. Thank you so much, Miss April. That is just amazing. It's incredible. Yeah, I'm glad that you said that because my sweet daughter was looking at pictures yesterday and she's like, Mom, your face looks so much better. I'm like, thanks a lot. Didn't know it was bad before, but it's what happens when that inflammation, which we have a doctor that's about to speak, that she'll probably speak a little bit about this, but the inflammation, when it goes down, everything in your body starts just changing and
Yeah.
it's effortless because your body starts taking care of itself. So, well, hello, hello, hello to one of our very amazing doctors, Dr. Esther. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. So yes, this patch, I was introduced by Michelle, and I, as a physician, questioned its efficacy. I'm gonna, first off, totally was like from a scientific standpoint in my head, I was like, there's just no way. But I knew that if I was going to be doing my integrative holistic practice, that I needed to patch and see what the effects were and God in his infinite wisdom, I had immediate results. Literally within a day, my Achilles heel pain went away. The following day, my SI joint pain went away. The following day, my instead of hot flashes, I was having cold flashes. So from 5 o'clock to midnight, I would be intensely cold, and I've had it since my late 40s, and I'm 58. Gone. And I was like, there's just no way that this patch could possibly do all of this. Um, and a week later, I didn't take my Claritin, and I have suffered from severe allergies since 16 years of age. And usually, this time of year, I'm heavily medicated, like Claritin twice a day, a nose spray twice a day, eye drops, an inhaler, steroids. And since August 29th, I have zero allergy meds. Nothing. I am just simply taking multivitamins. That is it. Um, it gets better. 6 weeks in, my mental menopausal fog lifted. I have had such clarity in my brain that is incredible. My mom the other day said, "What, your hyperpigmented line that you had above your lip, I notice is not there anymore." I'm like, yeah, I know, it's great. And I started to add Eon patch because that helps with inflammation. And I had overdone it one day, and I was hurting really badly when it came time to take off my X39 patch. I put the Eon patch overnight, and I woke up incredibly well. So now I'm doing the dynamic duo. Now I'm doing the X39 and the Eon, just because it really does help with inflammation, so that the X39 could then do its job and activate all those lovely stem cells that are inactive.
Yeah.
So I've
Now,
had great results.
I love hearing all these pieces. So from your standpoint with your patients, what are some of the changes that you're seeing that as they're beginning to incorporate it into their life?
Well, the young woman that I did Ice Wave for because of migraines, the X39 has helped to decrease her migraine frequency. So she loves it for that. And my mom, who I patched also at the time when I was experimenting with myself, she called me one day ecstatic because she did not have leakage of urine that she would have when she was sleeping. So she's absolutely thrilled. And I've noticed, she's 81 and she had a stroke a couple years ago, that her memory was starting to fade. But now that she's patched, I see the difference in terms of her sharpness with her memory.
Ah, gosh, yes. Well, so we're actually headed to Albuquerque, New Mexico, tomorrow to see my grandparents, and man, I can't wait to see my grandparents. But I know my grandmother began to utilize this technology because she actually had memory loss issues, severe memory loss issues, and we did not think that we were going to have any more time with her. And this was 2 years ago. And the amount of time that I have had with her has just been so precious. So I'm so glad that you spoke about that because that's something that has changed my world completely with my grandmother. So, Dr. Malabi, thank you so much for sharing. I'm so grateful for you being with us tonight.
You're
And
welcome.
we looky here, we've got our stem cell expert. Here she is, Megan. If you want to turn on your camera, and I'm going to go ahead and bring you on in. You there? Let's see if she can unmute. Nope.
I am, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I am in Northern Ontario, guys, Northern Ontario. And can you hear me, Brittany?
We can. Can you turn on your
Okay. I'm trying to. I am
Okay.
trying to. Okay. But I'm so blessed that I even have Wi-Fi. So let's just
Okay.
but what I want to share, guys, is this. God is so amazingly creative. I am with my daughter and her husband, and my son-in-law, her husband, came to my clinic 2 years ago. As I said, I'm in Northern Ontario, so there's about 3 feet of snow, and he's a major snowmobiler. And he had had an accident several years ago and broke his shoulder, and just was not healing. And the orthopedic up here who he worked with said and he mentioned the stem cell, me and doing at our clinic, and he said, you'll never get it here in Canada. If you can, just go. So he did. Now, first off, guys, it took him about 3 months for it to really start regenerating. Let's just use that term, where he felt it was working. Okay. So my daughter had a head injury a year plus ago, really more 3 years ago. She had fallen and was knocked out. And she was dealing with headaches and migraines and so forth. And I saw her in July of this year in New York, and I gave her an X39 sleeve, and she used it intermittently. So we know that, guys, that's not going to do it. We know that. So in coming up here, I've been praying, Lord, how am I going to reach these guys? How am I? So yesterday, I was alone with my daughter before we came up here and to the cottage, as they call it. And so Jill and I, my daughter and I, started talking about LifeWave and that dynamic of it. And so she was listening. And then we called my brother, Albert, who is now using LifeWave and a brand partner. And so Albert shared his story. So Jill was becoming a little bit more focused on listening. So we got up to the cottage last night. And this morning, I came into the kitchen area, and her husband, who is planning this snowmobiling expedition for tomorrow with his son who's coming up and his brother, he pulled his back and he couldn't even stand up straight. And I said, well, Steve, I have something for you. I went into the bedroom. I always carry Ice Wave, and I put it on him. I showed, and Jill was watching, and immediately he had relief. Then I went and got, exactly. Then I got X39 and Eon, put it on his back area. Then he said, well, send me some information. I did. And Jill is paying attention to this. Now, the PS to the story is she and I went into their town, had lunch, came back. He's walking, he's out with their dogs in the snow. And Jill said, Mom, I think it's worked. It's like that. And so then tonight he said to me, Megan, before you leave, because Jill and I are leaving to go back to Toronto, and he said, before you leave, can you put it on me again?
I love it.
Yes. And I said, more importantly, Steve, I'm going to leave you some of these because and then Jill goes, Steve, we're going to be ordering these. Oh, good. I was going to tell you to. So look at God.
Love it. Oh,
Yes.
I love it.
Yes.
Yeah, the Ice Wave, guys, it's mind blowing. It's completely mind blowing. It just is. So when you utilize that, just make sure when you have it on hand, we have it all the time for first aid. We just do. We really, really do because, well, we have 3 athletes in our body. I mean, in our family, and as part of our body, 3 athletes in our family, and really, I don't think I go a week without somebody doing something. And so you're right, it's right away. So it's really incredible to see the changes, especially for those that say, "Oh, this can't be." It so is. It so is. So,
But I could not believe coming out into the kitchen this morning, he having pulled his back. I said, Lord, guide me. And there it was. So yes. So here I am in the camera with my
there you
beanie
are,
on and
Miss
my
Megan.
wrap. It is freezing here. But anyway, just had to share that.
I'm so glad you're with your family, and I'm so glad you jumped on tonight. Thank you for
Yes.
blessing us, even though I know you're with your family. So love you dearly, and we'll see you here soon.
Okay. Be blessed.
All right. Yes, sir. You raised your hand again. I was like, uh-oh, something else. Tell us.
Yeah, it's so crazy. Yeah, my wife was like writing down, like, what about this? What about this? She didn't say anything. So they have the copper fit back brace. So we were out of state, and when I was leaving to go out of state, they took my ice pack at the airport, So as soon as we land, I find the Costco and I go in there and I buy 5 of the copper fits, and I've went through 3 of those copper fits and still not the relief before meeting Dr. Tori, so I created my own ice backpack. I froze 16-ounce bottles of water and I stuck them inside of the backpack so I can sit down. That's what I was using. So no more ice packs, no more backpack. So when I lay down these days, from before I would lay down, we always sleep with the fan on because my wife would have the hot flashes that she does no longer have anymore. But we would lay with the fan on and I would wake up so congested, so congested. And after I started wearing the technology, I was waking up with the fan on. She was like, you're not sneezing, you're not snoring, you're not this, you're not that, and it's just been amazing. But yeah, so I was just complimenting her last night. We just got back from Vegas, and that we're able to lay next to each other, and she's not having the hot flashes and sweating, and just okay, I need a break. I need to throw the covers off of me for a little while. So, but amazing, amazing, amazing stuff. So everywhere we go, I mean, I've cried the most amount of tears that I have in years since introducing and sharing LifeWave to everyone that I care about and love. And I love it. Make me cry more. Come on. I need more, so yes, amazing, guys. Just continue to share and keep your head up, so you hear it all the time. This is not easy, but it's not hard either. You just have to commit.
You just have to love your people and wear your patches.
That's it. That's it.
I love it. Well, those of you that know me well know that I love animals. Okay, we have 5 dogs now. Yeah, no longer 4. And so I do want you to know that this technology doesn't just work on humans, it does work on animals, turtles, chickens, you name it. This technology works. So there it is right there on our shepherd. She used to have hip dysplasia. Whenever she has like a little bit of a hip issue, we go ahead and throw that X39 on there. So the GHKCU does help accelerate wound healing in animals. So it's really incredible to see what happens there. So don't think that this just ends. I take this technology, you're supposed to wear it 12 hours on, 12 hours off. But remember, it's made of that crystalline lattice that is a mirror. And so the heat breaks down that crystalline lattice. That's why it's only good for 16 to 20 hours. Okay. When I'm done utilizing the patch after 12 hours, I take it off and I throw it on my dog. So I'll put it on the inside of her collar. I'll put it like on their hip, like what you just saw. So don't think that this is just for you. Okay. They wear it, they utilize this technology in the rodeo as well, on the bulls, the horses, and the riders. So you do wear this technology 12 hours on, 12 hours off. Like I said, you want to drink water. Drink electrolytes. That Cellargize that was mentioned earlier is great, but it will work. Okay. Now there is a documentary that's coming out about this company. It's actually called Code of Creation. It's absolutely unbelievable. So be looking for that in the next year. We've seen it. It's amazing. It talks about the history of LifeWave, how the science came about, and the scientists are absolutely brilliant that share on this technology. Now, we love Testimony Tuesdays because we cover such a plethora. Look at my notes. Oh my gosh. But if you say, well, what about this? What about that? The answer is yes. You want to screenshot this if you're one of our guests. thisisitinfo.com/testimonies, or thisisitinfo.com. At the very top, you can click testimonies and you'll be able to find all kinds of testimonies about this technology, including in children, whatever it is that you really want to hear and see. Okay. And there's always a different Zoom almost every single night. There's our dear Megan right there at the center. We have different medical Zooms. We have different Zooms available to you. Tomorrow night, they're actually going to be focusing on eyesight, I believe. So hopefully we'll have some on that. But you are going to see that whatever hope that you need, you are going to be able to find at thisisitinfo.com. This right here has become my miracle inbox. I love looking at my phone because people all the time are calling me, texting me, saying you wouldn't believe. And my answer is try me. I would believe, because after what I've seen, nobody can tell me that this is not incredible. Now, you can wear it and share it if you choose. You can get back with the person that told you about this, but just know that that option is there. And you cannot get this anywhere else, guys. So do not even try. It's not real if you try. It has to come from LifeWave because they actually make it very specifically and they ship it very specifically so that it's not damaged. This is a very unique technology. It is not something that you can just go and get somewhere. Okay, so this is how you can order it. You can actually order it for $99 a month from the person that sent you this, or that loved you enough to get you on here. Or if you say, I'm going to be wearing this and I want to hear about the other technologies, you can actually package them very beautifully. And you can do core, advanced, advanced plus, or premium for that. And all of these different, so this guy right here, see this little guy, the sleeve, this is called a sleeve. There's 30 days worth of the technology. Okay, so, and then if you say, well, I want to also, I have a lot of inflammation, or I have a lot of discomfort, whatever it is, you can mix and match, and for you, your spouse, for your children, whoever it is, and you can absolutely bless every single person that talks, that in your family it talks to you about being in discomfort, because guess what? You have an answer. You have an answer. So we're just so incredibly excited. Look at that, 47 minutes, and we have shared so many testimonies. This is why we do this on Tuesdays. The Brooks and the Francis organization, we love our people, and we love to hear what's happening. We just love to hear what's happening in each other's lives. So if you're new, I do want to give you a heartfelt welcome. I really, really do. And we pray that you wear this technology as quickly as you possibly can, and come on and please share as you start seeing the changes in your life and in your body. Come on a Tuesday and share with us, because this is what drives us to impact lives, is hearing the things, getting the list of things. Look at this, you guys. Look at this. And so if you say, gosh, I need this recording, you can actually find this recording on YouTube at Top Tier Lifewave. And that's at Top Tier Lifewave, our channel. And you'll see Testimony Tuesdays, and you'll be able to find it there. And you can actually share it with somebody that you love, that you know needs to hear about this. So we are so grateful that you joined us tonight. We love every single one of you. And we want to tell all of you, God bless, and have a great evening. And if you are interested in jumping on the Zoom tomorrow night, then the person that got you on here can absolutely share that link with you. Take care, and God bless.